new thing. Like I was able to just speak on stage and go right up. Is that like a new thing? It was so much easier than before. But anyhow, what's going on?
So all good. We're just giving an update as best we can, Dave. Obviously, you're privy to certain things, the community are not. We can't tell everybody yet until things are signed. But there's loads of really good stuff happening. And I think without you giving away any names, Dave, how big is the news that we're about to announce?
Oh, yeah. Huge. I mean...
Don't sound too...
Yeah, it's...
Don't sound too enthusiastic. Like...
No, I'm actually... Well, like I told you before, it's like... it's just amazing to me, like, where we were, like, what... I don't even know how long ago. Over a year, 2 years now at this point.
2.5 years, yeah.
Yeah, when we started talking about certain things and technologies and companies that are out there, and yeah, if you would have told me back then that this is the direction we were heading and things that we're going to announce soon, I would have told you were nuts. Just put it.
Yeah. So.
Well, at the time, literally, and without naming names again, the project that we're taking over was the biggest in the world, right?
Yeah, it was, and it was one that I had, as you guys know, I had, when we were kind of doing our analysis and looking at the competition, it was one of the early ones that I brought to your attention that had a roster of big-name comedians already on board, and obviously that was impressive. So, yeah, the rest is kind of history from there. But, yeah, I brought that up early on. So, yeah, it'll be an amazing announcement. Yeah.
So touch wood, we should actually be streaming now, Andy. If somebody wants to check, I don't know why OBS dropped the stream, but anyway, if we want to just go back over what was said earlier in the piece of the AMA that wasn't streaming, we can just get that on a recording.
So, I'm trying to remember exactly what I said now. So. There's been meetings with Derek, who it keys to, and his team, and we are putting together a full marketing schedule from start of next week. He's got obviously key to and all his team. There's David with TCG World and all his team. So all three partners are trying to tee up across all social channels. We'll be promoting general things about the project, the festival build, how things are coming on, the comedians that we're adding, the partnerships that we're doing, sponsors that we're taking on. There's going to be a lot of work done on that across all three partners, not just in terms of social media, but in terms of also other PR, and people are going to be adding in their contacts and the ways to leverage things, these email databases. The partners that we just talked about, and I'm careful how I say this, there's the ability to bring their community, which will happen, into the joke community because they'll want to be part of it. So the whole thing is going to just kind of like blow up massively. Simon did mention that, this hopefully should be signed within the next 48 hours. It's been verbally agreed. We've just got to sign this deal. And then, that's kind of like amazing big news alongside everything else. And there's other stuff that will fall out of it as well, I think, with another big announcement. So everything's all bubbling away. Everybody's working really hard. I know David's been really busy at TCG World, working with Unity and all his team. We did film some stuff at the Frog and Bucket last week in terms of some avatar stuff. That's gone over to those people. We just got to wait and see if they can make that work with what we filmed. Don't want to overpromise on that because that was quite tricky. It was fraught with problems. Not that we can't overcome them, because we will overcome them. It's just, all these things are there to be solved. So yeah, everything's starting to bubble away. I do know that the people kind of booking the comedians and going out to all their community of comedians, there's a lot of work being done there, and that is a lot of work for each of those individuals. We've got teams in New York doing things. We've got teams in the UK. There's a few other people that we're reaching out to. We've got people coming to us. So there's a lot of options there.
Well,
it is working out.
We can announce that Jeff Rowe is now part of the team, can't we?
Yes, we can. Yeah. Do you want to tell everybody about that, Simon?
So Jeff Rowe is a 30-year veteran of the comedy industry. He ran the Leicester Comedy Festival in the UK, which is pretty much pound for pound the biggest comedy festival in the world. It's not the
Europe,
most, yeah, it's not the most famous, but he has over, on some of those festivals, 900 comedians taking part. Now, the Edinburgh Festival would be bigger in terms of numbers of shows because, as a rule, when a comedian goes to Edinburgh, they'll do a month-long run and they'll, maybe do 20 shows in that month. Whereas the Leicester Festival is not as big in terms of number of shows, but in terms of number of comedians, it's a lot bigger. So he's on board now. He will be helping to curate content, to introduce comedians, and to just generally help us with the project. So it's, we were very pleased to welcome Jeff on board to the project this week, and he's now cracking, well, it was last Friday, he's cracking on with introducing the project to as many comedians as possible. The collective reach of the comedians that we have on the roster so far is, I think, 30 million, Andy?
I think there was about 60 names on there. I know a couple of amazing ladies who are helping out at the moment have been updating it. Last time I looked, it was, I think it was 30 million, Simon, off about 60 names. I fully expect that when we get 100 plus comedians, up to 200, we're easily going to be looking at 100 million views in terms of the comedians' reach. And I think this is the exciting thing. And people I've spoken to at TCG and these two absolutely understand the power of this, the compound power. If you take Joke with its community and its reach, which is going to get bigger and bigger, TCG with theirs, Key 2 with theirs, don't forget, people like Derek at Key 2 are really, really influential, and so is David. They've got reach beyond we can imagine in many respects with their communities and the people that they know who will also talk about the project. You then take the comedians, and once that all starts to build up, we're just going to have so many views on this project. For all our projects, for all three of them, and I think that's what's good. It's just each community is just going to help each community absolutely flourish and make the festival a massive success because it's in all our interests. So the clout that's going to get behind that marketing campaign is eye-watering. And Dave's involved in marketing. He knows this. We're asking all the comedians involved. They've got to contribute to sharing and tweeting about the festival every week over the next 2 months. Once we start rolling next week, so that's huge. And again, just from a traditional PR perspective and credentials as well. Sorry, that's the thing. Going back to credentials. The new website that will be coming out within the next 7 days, on that website, people have talked to us about having credentials. And I believe that what Simon and I have done with the community and your help is that we have got good credentials. We're still going in the space. A lot of projects are not. So we've done really well. But when you then stick not only mine and Simon's faces on there with what we've done, but with people like Dave, who's also a founding partner, who's a comedian and a marketeer, David, Domingo, Derek, some of these other people who are going to be getting involved. You
nearly doxed the other part of the team, didn't you?
I didn't. And that, and Jeff will be on there, and Jessica will be on there in terms of comedy connections as well. That's a really, really good team that spans DeFi, crypto, NFTs, marketing, comedy, and bringing it all together. And I will say, genuinely, with proper global clout. We're not talking and peeing around with people who are not very good here. These people are top of the game. So it is really, really good.
And there are other conversations going on that have the potential. Well, the deal that we've agreed verbally. So the first part of this AMA wasn't streamed. I'll repeat what I said at the start so that people understand what is coming. We haven't signed the deal. We've agreed verbally a deal. We're waiting to sign it over the next couple of days, and we will have other AMAs. You're not going to probably have to wait until next week. As soon as we're able to announce that, we will. because we don't really want to keep coming on here week in, week out and just saying we're waiting. As soon as we know, we'll let you know, and we'll run another AMA and we'll invite you on and give you warning of that happening. But the other deal, well, that first deal, they have, I think, over 40,000 people in their community. So that's going to be exciting to onboard those people into Joke. The other deal that we're working on is potentially millions of people. So let's just keep our fingers crossed and just bear with us for a little bit, because that deal is potentially huge for what we're doing. Again, not going to announce anything that we're not 100%, until we've dotted the I's, crossed the T's and signed in blood. We're not going to announce anything, so just bear with us on that one. Have we got any other questions? Because what we are going to do is, obviously we're not going to keep these AMAs. They do drag on, right? We need to make sure that the time that is used is very valuable, and I'm not going to hang around just for the sake of stringing it out to an hour when I might be back on here tomorrow telling you something else. So if there are any questions, please either put your hand up or put them into the AMA live chat, not the general chat. The AMA live chat is just above where you entered the AMA. So just type them in there, either that or just get in touch with us on Twitter. One thing I will say, and I'll say this probably on every single AMA that we do going forwards, because things are gonna get really, really big, right, really quickly, watch out for the scams, because there's gonna be people contacting you pretending to be me, right, and Andy and other mods and admins, right? Please don't get caught up in anything that I will never DM you first, right?
No.
If you want to talk to me, come on the AMA, send me a friend request, and then we can talk, right? But don't ever accept, because there will be fake versions of me and Andy. There will probably tens of them. And as soon
There'll be
as
fake versions of other people as well, Simon, from Keys and CG, so we've got to be really vigilant. And
I joined a Telegram channel this week for some support on a piece of software that I'm looking to use, not related to Joke, but I joined that channel and I typed in a message, and within a minute I got a message from somebody pretending to be the owner of that channel saying, I can help you with this, I can help you with that. And I went, well, your username is not, and it was a guy called Blake Roger, Rodger, and the guy that contacted me was Blake Roger, Rogder, and the D and the G were the other way round. But unless you were really careful and you knew, I might have thought there was the right guy, right? So just be mindful that going forwards, especially when we get into the launching the NFTs, when we get into the launching the new token, when there's whitelists, there's competitions, when there's all sorts of stuff going on in this project, do not engage. Just as soon as you get a message off one of these people, don't even report them to me, because we will not have the time to deal with it, and there's frankly nothing we'll be able to do about it, right? Delete them, block them, and then go and message me the right person if you've got an issue, or obviously raise a support ticket within our own Discord. So just be mindful, there's going to be a load of scammers out there, okay? Be careful, please.
Particularly on Telegram.
Well, and on Discord. Discord's just as bad. Yeah,
true.
Loads going on. Just let us get to the good stuff. Andy and I, our feet aren't touching the ground at the moment. So, look, if anybody else has got any questions, Jane, has anybody got anything? Or
yes, there's a couple questions that I made live chat. I wanted to ask for the impromptu AMAs. Will those be at this same time? Like, will be, can we expect to have them at about the same time?
All I can say is I would probably hope so. We'll just say that we're going to give notice of, because there may well be AMAs with people in the States, which would then probably make them substantially later than this. So if I want to bring
Okay,
some,
so this
yeah,
time or later,
yeah,
right? So we won't have to be like glued to our Discord.
no, and we'll give you notice. It's not like we're going to just wait. I'm not going to do it as a surprise AMA. I will give you at least a couple of 3 hours notice. By a post on Twitter and an announcement on air, etc. That we're going to go live. So, touch wood, everybody should be able to either get on them or watch the recording if Simon sets it up properly in the first place.
So Johnny Mayhem is asking, when you do the merchandise, will it be joke branded or roasted?
That's a debate that I still need to have with a lot of our partners over the merchandise. It's not a priority at this point in time in terms of everything going on, I will be honest. But it is on my list, and it is something that we need to talk about with the wider team, because
well, the new website needs to come first. So once the new website comes, then you'll see who this other partner is, and obviously that will have roasted on it as well. So the festival is roasted, presented by the joke community, right? So it may well have joke and roasted on it. I don't know.
And who's to say that we don't do a deal with particular comedians that one of their famous jokes gets put on a co-branded T-shirt? We don't know where this can go. Well, we do know where it can go, but managing all those things. What I don't want to do is overpromise that we're going to do a load of stuff and not be able to do it. And the merchandise is a secondary thing. And I would like to be able to build that into the rewards side of things with Derek, but there's a lot of conversations and there's a lot of tech being done and a lot of things being done. So it's there. As and when we know, we will announce things. My view will be there will be some merchandise, but I don't think it will be the all singing, all dancing set of merchandise that perhaps will be available in another year.
Well, let's put it this way. This is how big the partnership with Keys 2 is. Keys 2 have just signed their deal with Formula 1, right? And that's the same people that we're dealing with, right? They have that deal because they are dealing with a bank in Switzerland who print the majority of the money in Europe, right? The security levels on what they have built are off the charts, right? And the relationships that Derek has are ridiculous, right? So when he's dealing with people like Formula 1, imagine you hold the joke NFT or the key to comedy or whatever that ends up being called, right? I don't want people getting confused because Keys 2 is its own project, right? Derek's project came from him being a high roller in Vegas at many casinos, and because he's a high roller, he gets lots of real life benefits because he spends so much money in casinos. So his idea was, well, what if I can create a card that people can use in real life, but it's also an NFT, and they can get a card physically delivered to them. Can you still hear me, Andy? Because I've frozen on the live stream. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So that's his project, right? And he has those relationships, and one of those new relationships he has is with Formula 1, right? And they're doing a load of promo around the Formula 1 race that's going to happen in Miami. Now, the tech that he's built, we are partnering with him, and the joke roasted, keys to comedy, whatever that NFT becomes or is called, will be hosted on his wallet and his technology. But additional benefits are super easy to drop into that NFT because in the fact that you hold it, you are a member of our community, and then any benefits we choose to add to it, let's say it's a 10% discount on tickets for Formula 1, that can just be dropped into that wallet and is therefore usable. That utility can just come straight into the wallet and that NFT. So he'll have his own NFTs, we'll have ours, right? They both live on the same wallet. But the benefits, we can drop benefits from any brand. That's where we're going. Like, I know Andy uses Domino's Pizza as an example, but imagine you're watching a comedy show and next to the screen there's a spinning pizza box and it says click here for a Domino's NFT, and you click it, it's immediately in your wallet, your Keys 2 wallet, and then if you turn up at Domino's, you scan your barcode, which is your NFT, and you get 5-10% discount off your Domino's pizza because you
Or you
watched.
add it in the order on your line.
Or you add it onto the order online, right? But all of these things become very possible very quickly without people having to understand wallet technology. You just have the app on your phone, which is a wallet and is recoverable through proper KYC. So were you to lose your phone and your NFTs and all that, nobody could access them, but you would go and get your new phone, you'd log into Keys 2, download the app, do your KYC, and your NFTs come back, right? So all of this stuff is already done, right? That's why we're partnered with them. But I just want to make people aware the level of project that we're partnering with, right? And then TCG on top of that, obviously TCG are partnered with Unity. Unity builds 60-70% of the world's games. Imagine where they are going with what they're building. That's going to be platforms where NFTs live and benefits come back to the holders, etc., etc. So look, we can't roll the entire ecosystem out on one AMA, but I think people should be aware that some of the people we're dealing with, they're proper global brands, right? And when you see the brand that we're taking over and have agreed verbally to do so, you'll understand how big this is going to get and how quickly it's going to get there, right? There is an even bigger announcement than that on the line, okay? And that's the one. If I get these two pieces across the line in the next couple of weeks, get ready, because we will genuinely be the biggest project in Web3, right? Hands down, no questions. Nobody will be able to come near us, and we will be setting the standard for what's getting done. And that's what's actually exciting some of these people, because they like the fact that we're doing things in real life and tying them back to NFTs and tokens. And that's the next step in Web3. And we're doing it first. And we're getting to be the beta testers of it, and we're planning it and working it, right? But for example, we were talking to some of the guys that own some of the comedy clubs in North America, and there's about 65% of the clubs are owned by 4 groups. And we're talking to them about plugging in discounts to attend comedy events into that NFT, right? So not everyone understands that. That's one of the challenges, right? When you start talking to an average comedian about what an NFT is, they probably just want to make a joke up about it, right? They don't understand what it is. But very, very soon, over the next couple of years, pretty much everybody on the planet's going to understand that, oh, it's something in my wallet that I can use, like Apple Pay, right? That's what it's going to be. So that's where we're going. I don't want to keep people hanging on. If we have got any more questions, Jane, let me know.
There is another question from Aged Wine. If you want to read that, the last one in the AMA live chat, please.
Since we have more time today, can we talk more specifics on the token launch? For example, I purchased 3k worth of Joke a week or 2 weeks before the token was shut off. Will I receive an equal value of the new token? Right, I don't, if I'm honest, I'm not starting that conversation on an AMA without being ready to do so. The one thing I will say is, when the liquidity was pulled from it, that is the value you will get at that point, okay? So if, for example, and I'm not saying this is the case, but if you bought 3k's worth of Joke token a week before the token liquidity was pulled from PancakeSwap and NightSwap, and at the point at which the liquidity was pulled, your holding was worth $1,000, that's what you'll be getting, not what it was which you put into it. So at the point at which we pulled the liquidity, because we could see what was happening, it's that point that the snapshot of the wallets was taken, and that's what will happen. Okay, so there's not a lot more I can say about that. That spreadsheet exists, and that snapshot was taken at a very specific date and time. I will repeat, I am not going to get into people messaging me, here's my wallet, what have I got, right? Because I'll be spending all of my time doing it. I have a spreadsheet, it has everybody's wallets on it, it has the entire list, and when we come to drop the token, the new token, there will be an airdrop to those people. I have not decided exactly how that happens and when it happens yet, so I'm not going to make it up on an AMA. When the token launches, it might be that you get those tokens there and then at launch. It might be that I decide those people get the tokens a week after the launch. Again, I'm not saying that is what it is, but I'm just saying there are so many moving parts. We are working with partners who are managing the launch. There may be things that I've not even considered. So I don't even know what the new launch price will be, how many tokens there will be. The deal I'm trying to do will potentially bring 1 million people into the project. If I do that, then happy days for all of you people that have got existing tokens. I have been asked by other people, should I buy tokens in the new launch? That's up to you guys, right? That is up to you. I'm not giving any investment advice to anybody. So I know some people will not be happy, some will be. There's nothing I can do about that, right? If I'd left the token as it was, all of everything that everybody had invested would be worth zero by now, right? Because of several factors affecting that previous contract and the market more so. So we've all seen where the market's gone since the point at which we pulled the liquidity back into the project. Okay, so we will do our very best to look after everybody. That's all I can say. And I know I can't keep there's no scenario where I keep everybody happy.
I think it's also fair to say, Simon, because of the conversations going on behind the scenes, I hate to use that phrase, there's a lot of people giving us advice, a lot of people involved in making this right. So, again, some decisions previously, Simon and I were going, right, okay, this is what we need to do, along with one or two other people in the project. Because it's much bigger now and a lot of other people involved in making sure things are right and correct, and all the due diligence is done right, and everything's done contractually right, it is more complicated. It's not just a case of me and Simon going, yeah, that's what we're doing. We have to talk to other partners involved now to make sure things are right. But that's good, in my view. That's actually better long term for everybody, because there's bigger global partners involved. You know, when you think about where we started out, it was done as a joke originally. Now it's not. You know, there's global partners involved in this.
But there's also, Andy, the fact that Simon and Andy do not want to be stood in an SEC hearing in the US at any point in the future, right? Or equally, you know, stood in front of the financial ombudsman in the UK answering questions that we need to be able to say, look, everything was done above board properly, and there you go. This business is run as a business. Look at most of the tokens out there now, and when I say most, I mean probably 95% of the tokens that have ever been launched are rugs, right? Or made to, you know, look at what's happening with Pepe, right? It's got a massive groundswell of members because it's another Doge, right? Could be another Dogecoin, right? But who knows what's going to happen with it? But I was telling people on the crypto meeting on 10x yesterday about a DEX that launched on Arbitrum about 3 weeks ago, and they rugged $5 million out of it in a day. So please, don't take this the wrong way, some people, but think yourselves lucky that we're doing this properly, because there's a lot of people out there that are not. And just be mindful.
And we're doing it through what's been a very, very difficult year or two as well. Very, very, very difficult. And we're still here, still showing our faces, still trying to make the project work, as opposed to these idiots, well, criminals, who are just taking people's money, which is shocking, and we don't believe in doing that. We're trying to build this into a global brand and a global business and make it work properly. And that takes time, and it's taken a lot of graft from Simon and myself and other people. So we're finally getting closer to it, which is good. So yeah, patience, please. It's we're nearly there.
CryptoCat has put in 95% will be happy. Yeah, there will probably be 5% of people that are not happy. Right, we'll look after them. There will be, and I'll tell you what is going to happen. There'll be a lot of people come out of the woodwork, right, that haven't been paying attention, and those will be the people that are really not happy, because when they find out where this is going and they weren't paying attention, there were people that bought the original Jungle Cat, right, and then went and sold them and dumped them in OpenSea on purpose, because they called us out saying, this is a scam, you don't know what you're doing, you're just two guys from the UK who are old guys with grey hair, and you literally haven't got a clue. Well, just because we don't wear waistcoats and have curly moustaches and wear balaclavas and are in the dark and nobody can see you, and you speak funny languages on Twitter, doesn't mean we don't know what we're doing in terms of business. Right, and this is a genuine business. It is not. We are not mucking about. Right, this genuinely can be the business we are about to take over. Well, have taken over. Just need to sign. They were about to get $20 million in funding, and on the first line of their website, it said this will be a $1 billion business. There's no reason why this can't be a $1 billion business. Andy and I are not working on this and putting our own money into it to make sure that it, just to keep people happy, right? We are doing it to make, basically to make the biggest brand in comedy in the world. And there's no reason why we can't. I think Antoine tried to interrupt me then.
Simon, keep going. Keep going, my bad.
You broke my flow. I was on a rant, and there he was, sort of saying he wouldn't make an hour-long AMA, but
No,
I think to draw a line under it, Simon and I have put blood, sweat and tears and heart and souls into this project, along with some other people. And we're not, 2.5 years, 3 years later, we're not pissing around. We're trying to make this work. And you do get ups and downs. And I've said this before, we're dealing with a lot of things here in a new way. And there's a lot of challenges along the way, and mistakes do get made. But we're still here, still trying to do it, still trying to make it happen, and we are. And, I don't see many other projects out there doing anything like this. A lot of them are all talk, with people hidden away, and we're not. We're not all talk. We actually are delivering on most of what we say. We pretty much all the time, deliver on what we say. It might take a bit longer.
Andy, we should talk about the charity that we agreed with this week as well. I know we're not officially announcing it just yet, but we can talk about the fact that we're talking to them, right?
The name?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah. So one thing that's really close to Simon and I, we were involved through a friend of mine whose brother had committed suicide, and we worked on it about 3 years ago with our agency. It's called Andy's Man Club, It's a suicide prevention charity based in the UK. So some of the charities that will benefit from the festival, there'll be a few of them based around the world. The one that we've selected for the UK is Andy's Man Club. We had a chat with the guy that we dealt with a few years ago. They're really up for doing it. They're delighted to be part of the project, and it is a really, really good charity. And even he said it'd be great for them to connect with the other charities involved on this project, so they can all support each other as well. So, that's close to us, and it's really close to me because my friend committed suicide about 5 years ago, and we see a lot of problems with that. And it's not just about the men; it's about the families that are left behind. It's about the impact of things, and it is a brilliant, brilliant charity in the UK. So they will be the first ones that we will officially announce next week. We've just got to send some paperwork over to them, but they're delighted to be part of it, and they do actually work with comedians as well. And they did say when people go to these sessions, they ask 5 questions, and the last 2 questions that they ask them are always based around a bit more humour-based, about bringing a smile to people's faces. So as an aligned project, it's just superb. And the one that we're trying to do with the US as well is a global one, and that's all about mental health and well-being and stuff like that. So that, we'll officially announce that next week as well. They'll be sharing about the project. We'll be sharing all them about what they do, which I think is really important. So yeah, we're here to do some good as well, not just make money. We want to make people laugh, and we want to help people. So yeah,
cool.
Screw all those cat projects.
Well, I just want to say to you, Andy and Simon, this is the best project because nobody knows the CEOs of the other company that pulled the rugs and did everything, and you have nothing but told the truth and been honest. So if anybody's worried about anything, they shouldn't be. They should be happy that this project is growing. It turned to a business, not a project. At first, it's a project. Now it's a business. It's a global business, and everybody should benefit from it if they put any effort in it. And if you're coming out the woodwork looking for something, Simon ain't finna give you nothing. So I just want to tell y'all that everybody should be appreciative. Everybody blood, sweat, and tears in this. So we appreciate the project and y'all being transparent.
And we appreciate everybody here as well. We appreciate all the help that we get. We appreciate people sticking with us. We really do. And we want to make it work so that people get rewarded. That's ultimately the thing. We all want to benefit from this. So, we stick together, we keep going. You're going to hit little rocky patches like anything in life, but we just have to work through them. And we have done, and we continue to do so. So, yeah, it's all good.
I'll be flying. First thing I'll be doing is flying out to the States and buying Antoine a decent mic and internet connection.
I'm traveling right now. I'm traveling to my wife's hometown. That's why you can barely hear me.
I know.
Look,
you're my whipping boy, right? You get all the grief. Don't worry.
He does.
But that's okay. I'm gonna get all the money, so it don't matter. You can whip me now. I'm gonna get all the money.
My people. Yeah.
My people.
My people. Right. Look. Let's wrap this one up, Andy. Let's just hope we're back on tomorrow or the day after. We'll keep everybody in the loop.
Yeah,
and then,
we will.
Yeah. Let's just wrap this one for now, and then we will be back on before, I would imagine, before next Tuesday.
Yeah. Cheers, folks.
Cool. See you all soon.
Cheers, everyone.
Cheers, my people.